Let's focus on a couple of stocks in the broader markets. Then we have Premier Explosives. The stock is high in today's trading session. Remember, the company won an order from the Ministry of Defence. We're currently joined by Mr. Gupta, the Chairman and Managing Director of the company. Hi, Mr. Gupta. Thanks so much, sir. Good way to start the new year. So happy New Year as well to you. Wanted to understand a couple of details. This order is only around a 34 crore order. First things first, who's your competition? I mean, do you have competition coming in from the domestic industry? Is it an international order? Who's your competition in that sense? And also, you had told us in the past that you expect margins to improve going ahead. You're currently doing 9 to around 9.5%. So give us some more details about this order. Is it margin diluted? Is it accretive? What is it?
Well, good morning and Happy New Year to everyone.
Happy New Year, sir. Yeah.
Yep. This order which we have won is actually was a global tender, and we competed against international companies, and we got the order. And the order is for a product called shafts and IR flares, infrared flares, which are used as a countermeasure by the Air Force and the airborne forces from Navy as well as in Army.
Okay. Mr. Gupta, if you could tell us the timeline of execution, the margins, and with this order, what would your net order book stand at now?
Well, the timeline is that it has to be completed by the end of next year. That is this year, sorry, 2017. And I can't tell you the margins and the things which you asked for.
What about the order book? Where does it stand
The order book, see, last quarter, the order book was standing at about 273 crores. And present order book, as on 31/12, is almost the same, 268. But the defense part last quarter was about 112. And this quarter now is 128.
All right. So the proportion of your order book that has exposure to defense, that's increasing.
Yes.
All right. So you don't want to give us exact details in terms of how does it affect your operational performance, but just tell us one thing. Your proportion of defense orders increasing. Is that good in terms of operating profit? Can you at least give us that?
Absolutely.
It's better.
Absolutely. It is much better than the commercial. Commercial is a lot of competition.
Right.
And there's another good news is that ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization, they have also selected us for making one of the strap-on motors for their launch vehicles.
Okay.
And that is a great entry for us to get into ISRO market.
Mr. Gupta, you're clearly participating in global tenders. You have expressed your intention of being a global player, and in that regard, you had once told us that you were open to divesting stake and bringing in a strategic investor. Could you give us some update on that?
Well, you know, as you said, that we are looking at global markets, and with the we have tied up for 2-3 products with the OEMs, and that process is on. Probably by next month or so, we'll have some numbers clear, and then we can tell what is the total capital we'll be raising. We'll certainly be raising some capital for our internal accruals, some by dilution, and some by getting more loans.
Stake, could you tell us what kind of a stake at least you're looking to dilute? You're a 300 crore market cap. So what kind of funds will you be looking to raise via dilution in particular? And also, are you in talks with any foreign investor as of today, sir?
Yeah, we are talking to a number of investors, and I can't give you the names unless everything is settled down.
Yes, sir. But what kind of a stake are you looking to dilute? 10%, 15%, 20%?
About maybe between 10 and 20.
Okay.
We are preparing basically the total funds required.
So you look to raise 30 to 60 crores, that's it?
Yeah, between 30 and 60 crores, you're right, almost in that area. And we'll also supplement it by internal accruals and also the bank loans, debt. Because right now we are almost debt-free.
Okay. If you could also tell us then what the order pipeline is currently looking at. Are you participating in more such tenders? And if you could give us some color on that.
Yeah, we are participating in many tenders, and one by one they are getting sort of in our favor. So we are also quoted for another thing called aerial target imitators for Air Force, and if that comes through, it will add to our kitty. Yeah.
All right, Mr. Gupta, thanks so much, sir, for joining in. You're sounding confident. The street likes it. The stock has moved virtually to the high point of the day. It's up close to around 6%. So that's Mr.